Welcome back to Weekends with Whitney. The word yes. Don't you love the power of it? It just sounds so affirming. It sounds so positive. It sounds so moving. And yet, it can cause us big problems. Dr. Nick joins us with some important things to ask ourselves before we say yes to anything. Good to see you.
Good morning. Good morning. That's an interesting topic because, you know, in my book, I talk about the keeping the no clean and the importance of no. Now we're talking about that yes is important, but we need to think about why we say it. There's an innate tendency, and it's a good tendency, to want to say yes. We want to help people. We want to be committed. We want to give of ourselves to make things better. But if we do it all the time, Whitney, we're going to lead right into burnout and bitterness and loss of why we do it. So first thing I would want to say about the whole yes world is, and this may seem odd to you and to the audience, but you know, it really wouldn't hurt any of us at this time of year to put down a personal mission and a professional mission. What really matters in my life? What am I passionate about? What drives me? What's going to feed me? Because when we're asked something, what might be the first thing we want to ask? What's it going to take from me?
What's it going to cost me?
What's it going to cost me?
Yeah, you know, it's probably going to be time, effort, energy. Sometimes it's money if it's a fundraising thing or a donation or yes, they want you to go somewhere, a trip to take.
It could, and add to that, we don't even know how long the yes is going to last. Are they asking us for our lifeblood? No, really, right. I think volunteering is wonderful, but I always say, make sure you're clear as to how long you're volunteering, because if you don't, you could be stuck in that position forever. And I think there ought to be, remember not long ago we talked about limits?
Yes.
We're back to it again in some ways. What's it going to cost me when I say yes? I sometimes get asked to do things on the weekends. That's a real
tough for you.
That's weekend. I work really hard Monday through Friday.
And you really need it to rejuvenate.
To rejuvenate.
However, you play in your band a lot of times on the weekends.
I do, and I find that to be a yes.
Okay.
That is not costing me a lot. See, you hear the answer?
Yeah.
What's it going to cost me? That doesn't cost me that much because I'm getting fed by it. And we do get fed by a lot of our yeses.
Yes.
We do. But I just... Don't you think that the tendency is to say yes before we think?
Yes. I made it. Yes, I do.
Before we think.
I made a commitment.
We say yes without.
Listen to this. I made this commitment to this organization that's doing a really wonderful thing.
Of course, that many of them are.
And I didn't have, so this was in October. I didn't have all of my stuff down for the new year and my calendar. And lo and behold, I'm supposed to MC this event 3 different times, a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, huge commitment.
Commitment.
Huge. And would you believe Friday night and Saturday night, I am triple booked.
See.
There's Mardi Gras balls, there's Mardi Gras parades, there's other things I'm supposed to be doing. I'm like, darn.
Yeah, it was without thinking, it was without planning.
And now I'm going to jump from one of it to another and never really relax and stay at one. I've got to go to 3 things in one night.
And you know, Mr. Positive, I don't think that I would necessarily take that as, oh my God, what's the matter with me that I need all this approval? I think that genuinely you probably want to do it. There's a lot of things that I really want to do. It's just that I can't get it all in.
Right.
And I have to say yes. I have to sit back, which leads me to what I think might be part of the problem. In not saying yes right away, we might miss the opportunity.
True.
We might be talked about. You know, what will they say if I say no?
Now, I'm not afraid of that.
Good for you.
I finally am at that
Because I think that's wonderful.
Because I really am busy. And so if I say I'm just too busy, then that's valid.
And you don't have a lot of, oh, I'm so sorry, I wish I could. You're just able to, just not available.
Right. I'm sorry
That's great.
I can't. I mean, I do feel that, you know, but it's called just so many hours in a day.
But that's where I think, for me, where I've grown a lot in this year and would like to continue to grow more. I've really gotten better at that tape. Let me get back to you. Whitney, it's a great line, everybody. Let me get back to you. Let me think about it a little bit.
Sure. How long do you should you think? What's reasonable?
I usually give myself a day.
Oh, okay.
I usually give myself a day, unless it's an urgent need. Sure. But if I'm asked to do something down there, because I have to think, where am I going to be at that period? Whitney, we've done it. I've said yes to you, and at the last minute, I was like, I don't want to do that.
And he bailed.
And had I thought a little bit about it before saying yes, I probably would have said, that weekend's not good for me, or Sundays aren't good for me.
I know.
See,
are you trying to please me, or are you trying to please you, or are you trying to get it all in? What's going on?
I think that there are probably all three motives going on, and that I don't want to miss a good time, but I certainly don't want to disappoint you, or anybody for that matter.
Sure.
And I think that I might be missing something. Now that's another area that I think we can all go in. We're not really missing that much. We think we are.
You're right.
You know what I say yes to now? 9 o'clock bedtime.
Wow.
And I don't think I miss a thing.
Well,
I'm saying, no.
You're missing some good times with me.
That's true. That's true. You are a night owl, so I am missing some good. And then when I wake up at 5 and text you, I hear nothing for 3 hours.
3 hours. But you know what? You can always have other times.
But it's really a great thing to reflect on. These topics you bring up are things we could talk about for hours.
I know.
Really, that's good. That's as good stuff that you bring up. She pushes me into these. I don't bring the topics; she brings them.
Sometimes you bring them, but you're right. I know. It's usually I've talked to someone who's struggling with something, or something I'm battling. We're all battling something.
Well, you have an understanding of the human condition, and I think that's why your show's doing well.
Thank you.
People want to hear about the human condition, and that's what we talk about.
Thank you.
The human condition, and all aspects of it. So
good, bad, ugly.
Let's say yes this year, but let's think it through as to what it's going to cost us, why we can't hold back and say, I'll get back to you.
And you know what I'm going to do?
What you going to do?
On your suggestion, I'm going to wait 24 hours before I even say yes. Even if I think I want to do it and I want to jump in and say yes, I'm going to say, give me 24 hours.
Excellent, Whitney. That's a great resolution.
That is.
See, and that's not a hard resolution.
Right.
That's reachable. You've just really given a gift, because people make these resolutions that are impossible.
I know.
Let me this year, just going to wait 24 hours before I say yes.
Yes. I didn't say I was going to run a marathon. Although that one's coming up, the Rouge Marathon.
Yeah, I know.
I'm
not going to run that marathon, no.
We're going to have to run a break now, but Dr. Nick will be back next week, and we're going to talk about burnout. Boy, how to recognize, first of all, that you're headed in that direction, right?
Yeah, and get recharged.
And then what to do about it. Recharging in the new year.
Recharging in the new year. No burnout.
I love it. Much more coming up with Weekends with Whitney right after this.